Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, terrific. Thank you. All righty. So speaking of minutes from October.
Oh, yes, I have reviewed those as well. I just
Okay,
actually
great.
looked at them before I hopped on, so.
Okay, perfect. Great. Okay. And Laura, are you ready for a vote?
Yep, sorry. I just changed, shut off my video, but I'm still here. Yes.
Okay, terrific. Okay. So, do I hear a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Do I hear a second? Laura seconds. Great. Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and the chair votes aye. All right. So motion, any nays, any abstentions? Nope. Okay, great. All right, so the minutes of October 26th are accepted. Next, we'll move on to the December 7th minutes. So why don't we take a minute to review those minutes? And Jamie, you did write these. I made a couple little minor additions, but yeah, these are basically the minutes you wrote.
Are you waiting for a motion or where are we
Well,
at right now?
actually, you know what? I'm actually noticing a little typo. On the second page, darn it. I think the second page, the 1, 2, 3, 4th, 5th paragraph down that starts with Chair Longbeliel. Asked Director DeAngelis to discuss changes to the IEP process. It just says Director DeAngelis, her vision. I think it should be Director DeAngelis described her vision. I think that's what that's supposed to say. I'm never sure if we have to actually amend minutes formally to fix typos.
Yeah, I don't think that's, I think I think a word here or there to fix a typo is not a substantive change.
Okay.
So I would make the motion to accept the minutes with that minor change as you just indicated.
Okay.
Because it overall, I feel it reflects the intent and content of the meeting.
Okay. All right. Jamie, do
I
I
will
hear a
second
second?
that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Motion accepted. All right. Great. Thank you both very much. All right. So now moving on. Now I think it would be a good time for everyone to introduce themselves. Let's see. Why don't we start with the school administration first? Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Michael Pratt. I am currently the interim principal here at Wachusett Regional High School.
Okay. And I'm looking forward to being at the next SIMCO meeting in January. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent.
So, yes. All right. And let's see. Shauna, is it Shauna or Shanna?
Yeah, it's Shanna. Can you hear me? Because I
Yes,
can't hear
we hear you.
anybody.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on. So I have the closed caption on
Okay.
with my computer, but I'm the special ed specialist at the high school, the building-based team chair administrator there.
Oh, great. Good. Thank you. Welcome. And Lynn Leschke, am I getting your name right?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Lynn Leschke. I am the English department chair at the high school.
Terrific. Great. All righty. And why don't committee members introduce themselves? Laura?
Sure. Laura Kirschenbaum, representative from Holden.
Jamie?
Jamie Winters, representative from Sterling.
And also vice chair. So,
And vice chair.
Yes, and I'm Linda Longbeliel. I'm the chair of the Ed Subcommittee. And I think everyone else knows each other, right? Okay, terrific. Okay, so I'll turn this over to the administration. We're very excited to hear about these new courses. sounds like a real step forward from what we've heard so far, but we're interested in hearing more.
Yes, sure. Thank you. So we do have a couple of courses on the agenda. There's one English, one partnership, and a couple of social studies courses. With under that social studies categories, we have some unified courses that we'll talk a little bit about. Lynn, if you want to elaborate a little bit more, but I'm going to say that the English department is putting forth a proposal for a new course to really attract a variety of different readers in this different age of technology and quick hits. So we're trying to get more and more students to be able to want to read and to get exposure to different types of literature. Lynn, you want to elaborate a little bit?
Sure. This is a course that's been in the works for a couple years, but with COVID and everything else trying to catch up, it got put on the back burner. Graphic novels is really a great opportunity to touch a lot of different readers, from our most reluctant readers to our higher achieving readers, for a lot of reasons. But I think in terms of the rationale that you all have a copy of on the agenda, I think those are my two biggest reasons for wanting this course. One, to connect with reluctant readers, and two, to help another group of readers who are more leaning towards digital media, because this is going to help kids develop their visual media literacy skills, which is huge. And nothing else in our department really hits on those types of literacy skills. So honestly, I think it's a home run. It's a course where a lot of colleges are teaching that. So it's kind of sort of an intro course, so kids can take a deeper study or a deeper dive into graphic novels, perhaps when they go on to college. But even for those who don't go on to college, it might help them in a digital media field, or for those reluctant readers, perhaps they decide that it's an entryway into falling in love with reading.
Great. Any questions about that course? I see we have another person who's joined us, Asia Emmerich.
Yeah. Yes. Hi. I joined because I have another course that I would like to add.
Okay.
Asia's here to speak about the health science career course when we get to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, great. Beautiful. Okay. So, does anyone on the committee have any questions or comments about the graphic novel course?
Yeah, the only question that by the way, the question I have, I'll get to in just a second, but by the way, I think that this is a really interesting course. I think, as you said, I think it will appeal to many students who, for them, longer novels and higher literature may not just be the right fit for them. So I appreciate your your exploration in the breadth of offerings for students. But I would ask that on item number 5 at the bottom of the page, it does say the graphic novels will need to be purchased, and the cost of the books it seems like there's some information that's missing. I just don't know if it's part of a form that you just don't have that information or not, but I just thought I'd offer that. It doesn't necessarily change my perspective on the course, and it certainly doesn't change my approval of the course, but I just thought I'd offer that is missing, and it may be that you just don't have the list of resources that you have right now.
There is a separate document that has a potential list of titles and descriptions and prices with it. That's a separate document that I can share again, but it does have that Lynn basically condensed this for us to have it in a short version, but I do have a price list of some books as well.
Okay. Plus, that list was just brainstorming ideas in terms of it included all different types of text. And I do want to add that graphic novels aren't necessarily easier reading. They're not necessarily shorter reading, and they're definitely not less literary based, because there are a couple texts on our original list that if we were to teach it on an honors level, those are texts that actually a lower level students would not be able to access. So I just want to make sure people understand that it's not, I mean, it's a great way to hook reluctant readers, and
Mhm.
visual art is a great way to do that. But we're going way beyond that in terms of pushing intellectual capabilities for students. We're going to hold off on thinking about it for the honors level right now, because we want to see how it's perceived. We really do need another offering for our CP level and CPA level. So that's why we're going to enter it here first. And we have a lot of options to choose from, and we've gotten some prices on things, but it will depend on what students we have, because some of the topics will be dependent on that too. So we're waiting a little bit so like Mike said, I have a list of brainstorming potential titles and a short list of definite ones that we would want to purchase. And to my surprise, I got a better quote on them than I thought I was going to get. So I'm actually pretty happy about the potential of getting some good text. The other thing I will say, even for the record, is that the English department at the high school has been using our town library to get interlibrary loans, which has been a huge cost saver for us. It also allows us to get class sets of novels and kind of test out texts that might work for some of our newer classes without having to purchase them. So we in the libraries get a lot of good PR. I don't know if PR is the right word, but it helps their numbers to have our books coming through them. So it's kind of a win-win for all of us. So we'd like to obviously buy some novels for ourselves, but we have the capability of getting a lot more through the library system as well.
Thank you.
Okay, should I go on to the next course? Are we okay with that? Did we lose Linda?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe we should give her a second to
Yeah. Maybe she just needs to back out and try again.
again. We do need 3 members of the committee here, so.
See if she's- I'm trying to reach out to her. I don't know if they She's still there, but she says she can hear all of us, but we can't hear her. So I'm just chatting to her in the in call messages to let her know that we can't hear. I'm going to suggest that she backs out and comes back in.
Yeah, she just said that.
Yeah.
I feel like we're back in COVID.
I know.
Oof. We've lost somebody. Got to get them back in. She's back. Hi, Linda.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't know what happened there, but anyway. All right, so back to business here. I was trying to say, Jamie, did you have any comments?
Sorry, I'm muted because my kiddos are watching TV in the other room. I do not. I will offer though that my 8-year-old does love herself some graphic novels, and that I know that it is often seen or used as like a gateway to kind of engage reluctant learners and readers. So
Right. Yes,
I definitely think there could be value in that.
for sure. Yes. My son is a reluctant reader. He's a good reader, but he doesn't want to read. But I'm glad, I was glad to hear when he just got home from college for the break, and he just told me he's going to be taking science fiction, which I'm excited about. And he actually seemed a little enthusiastic. We'll see. So, do you have science fiction at the high school? I'm just curious.
We have a Gothic novel class, which it's not really indicative of the title, but we do a little science fiction in that, and then there's a little bit of science fiction in our dystopian lit class.
Oh, yes,
We used to
yes.
have a pure science fiction class, but it's kind of gotten
Yeah.
pushed out by some other things.
Right. Yeah, he took the dystopian lit class,
Yeah,
which,
that one's
you know,
become very popular with students. So.
I bet, especially boys like mine, probably. But anyway, all right. So very good. So moving on to the next course.
Sure. The next course is Survey of Health Science Careers. I'll let Asia speak a little bit more about it, but this is sort of an educational pathway for exploratory careers in the health science field. Asia, do you want to add a little bit more to that?
Yeah, so this would be primarily for sophomores and juniors who are interested in pursuing some kind of career in the healthcare field. Usually when students think that they want to go into healthcare, they assume that they have to be a nurse or a doctor. And that's really kind of all that they understand. They don't necessarily know that there are all of these different paths or all of these other careers that they could do outside of nursing or being an MD. And so as part of the health partnership program, we do think that having this class really early on for sophomores would allow students to actually say, okay, I know that I want to do healthcare. I don't really want to be a nurse, but maybe I want to be a dental hygienist. Maybe I want to be a medical assistant. Maybe I want to do a phlebotomy. You know, it would give them a very wide range of different career paths. And then that would also allow them to say, do I want to further engage in the actual health partnership program? And kind of what career pathway do I want to go through? So that's the premise of the course.
Great. Any questions or concerns, comments from the committee?
Yeah, I just a question on context in terms of where this sits. This is obviously an introductory course. So where does one go? You know, if they say, yes, this is definitely a pathway that I want to explore, you know, what are the junior and senior thoughts for that in terms of gaining some real experience, and is there a career pathway that is maybe in the works, maybe not started yet, but certainly this is going to inspire, you know, something that we may not necessarily have right now.
So right now in the Health Science Partnership Program, we do have 2 primary courses. The first one is typically for juniors. Sometimes we have some seniors in that, and that is the Human Body Works course. And so that, I teach that one. I also teach the following one. So in the Human Body Works, we do all of these different units of studies, such as pathology. So they can say, is, you know, a pathologist something that I want to do? We then talk about the different systems in the body, so that they can say, am I interested in the lungs? Am I interested in the nervous system? And so on and so forth. And then the following year, senior year, is when they take the allied health course. And that used to be this exploratory program. But then what happened is in the past 5-10 years, nursing programs have become more competitive, but they've also made it so that you have to apply for early decision and you have to apply to the nursing program at a university by October of your senior year.
Hmm.
So if you're taking this allied of health class your senior year, it's too late to explore all of these different career options because you've already had to choose in order to apply to university. So that course naturally has shifted with the demands of university. So now that course, which I don't know, Mike, has the name change been put forward to school committee yet, or is that still in the guidance department?
Yeah, we're still working on the name change aspect of it. The description hasn't changed that.
Right. Oh, okay. There should be a slight description change for that one too. So, but that course has kind of shifted a little bit. So it's more of like preparatory for their studies at university level. So that's why we kind of want the original course of here are your different options to be offered at the sophomore level, so that then they can expand that in their junior year, then further expand that senior year, and then be fully prepped for what they're going to be doing post high school graduation. Laura, does that answer the question that you were asking?
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Jamie, any questions or comments?
No, I think the follow-up that you provided to Laura covers what I would have asked. Thank you.
Great. And well, I certainly think it's important to broaden their horizons in terms of the array of potential professions in healthcare. It's amazing the array of job types that kids can aspire to. So it's great to make them aware of that as early as you can. So, all right. So
I do have one other question, and it
yes,
has to
please.
do with the budgeting. And that has to do with, it says that the approximate cost would be about $5,000 to cover textbooks and sutures and suture kits and models and so on and so forth. And I just wonder if I offer this as, just something to keep in mind, is that when there are opportunities for cross collaboration with other departments that may have materials on hand, like say in the science department and so on and so forth, that we try to utilize the resources that we have in-house, and work collaboratively to try to, contain costs.
Yeah, so the budget number, when Miss Jules put the budget together, she was kind of like, I don't know. I've never started a course before. I don't really know. So this kind of sounds like an okay number. So of course she has an idea of the types of materials, but as far as putting together an actual itemized list, her thought process was, I'll just take a guess and then we'll work with whatever it is that we can.
Sure, and I understand that, and I appreciate that some of these costs will be textbooks, which will have, year after year applications. Some of them might be consumables, and that's that's something that's going to be an ongoing cost. So I appreciate all that. Thanks.
Are you actually going to use textbooks, or are you going to be using something online?
So we have textbooks that are 30 years old that are still sitting around. So those are completely useless. And so although her thought is that there may be a textbook, quite honestly, the textbooks go out of date so quickly that although she may have one teacher textbook that gives her maybe an outline of where she wants to go, the likelihood of there being a need for a class set of a textbook is very low, especially as the demands in particular healthcare fields, the outlook and the projected growth of those change so quickly that she doesn't want to be kind of pigeonholed into the careers within this textbook.
Yes, that makes sense. So is she going to use something online, or do you know?
Well, so what she wants to do is basically, and she's done some of this. She teaches at Worcester State as well, and so she's done a little bit of this type of thing through her Worcester State adjunct position. It's basically, here are some of the jobs. This is what your day-to-day life looks like. Here are some of the skills that you need. And so some of that, we're kind of lucky enough that we just know as part of our own training, you know. And then she's
Uh-huh.
also really, really good. One of the things I admire about her as a teacher is she's actually really good at being able to pull from people in the community. And so she is really good at being able to have people in those fields be able to come in. So
Mhm.
as far as like what resources, it really
Mhm.
would be more
Mhm.
community based.
Okay.
And then going off of here are the careers that we have projected. So
Mhm.
now let's use that for this particular.
That makes sense. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All righty, great. All right, so moving on to the next one, which would be,
The next one is the concepts in economics honors level. Currently, right now, we have a CP/CPA combined, and then we have an AP, and there's nothing really in the middle. There are students who are very much interested in the economics curriculum, but their choices of a level are very wide. The range is high. So you get your AP, and not all students are AP students. And then you've got your CP, CPA students, and there's a little bit of a gap of students who want that little more of a challenge, but don't want to take that AP course. Maybe they're taking 2 other AP courses, but there's that gap there. So what we're trying to do is add another level in there to try to get those students the opportunity to get the rigorous curriculum associated with economics, but maybe not take it at an AP level, but still get that challenging curriculum delivered to them.
good. All right.
And there's no cost. We have plenty of materials to do this. It's the economics teacher has lots of materials he's gathered over the years by attending conferences, textbooks, things like that. So there's no cost to that one.
Great. Laura or Jamie, any questions about this one?
No, I think it's great.
Okay, good, good. So is this microeconomics, macroeconomics?
It's actually a combination of both. They break it down and they do a little bit of both each. They break it into quarters. So there's a portion of that. He combines the same teacher that does the AP curriculum is the same teacher that would be teaching this. So he has that to fall back on, and he does macro and micro.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, good. Okay, anybody have any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, then why don't we move on to the unified courses?
Great. So I will take the time to sort of talk about the unified courses as a whole. And then if anybody has any questions, we can talk a little bit about that. So basic concept behind the unified courses is to provide all students with the opportunity to basically receive the same curriculum. So you're going to have students from all walks of educational backgrounds be able to attend a class, be exposed to the curriculum, and adjustments can be made as needed. Now, the question that some have asked is this co-taught? Is it not co-taught? The answer to that is it depends. It depends on a couple of things. One, it depends upon the staffing. And 2, it depends upon the specifics of the students enrolled, what IEPs are, what specifics are labeled in IEPs, what the student needs for modifications to the curriculum and for assessments. So if you're a student in, let's say you have on a college prep track, when you sign up for a course, you're going to be signing up for either Psychology 1 or Civics. And that would be in the course load of Civics or Psychology, and there's a course number with it. And then if you're a student who is not going to qualify for that track, the other student will qualify or sign up under the unified course code. Jenna, am I missing anything in that? Does that sound accurate?
Again, I'm reading this. I haven't been able to hear, but I don't think you're missing anything. They're in the same class. They're hearing the same curriculum, but their access points for assessments may be different. And so there might be modifications needed for another group of students, but they're, among each other. They're not, we're trying to get as many opportunities as we can for students to be learning alongside each other rather than isolated so much.
So how do you differentiate the teaching? I mean, the assessments I get, what are some other ways that you differentiate the teaching so that you can be sure you're addressing all the students at different levels?
So there are, jump in at any point. There are a variety of ways in which they can do this. Project-based learning, the rubrics would be slightly different. Of course, they would focus on the key concepts, or what we would refer to as the power standards, and essentially make sure that the students are getting exposed to all that. The grading and the assessments could be different. As far as reading levels go, we're using a wonderful app that allows us to try to differentiate reading levels for different students so that they can see, a little bit more exposure and a little bit more challenge, but also is something that would be at their reading level. I think that answers that question.
Okay. So do you, when you do project-based learning, so you break the kids down by, say, you group the kids with kids who are at the same level that they're at, or you'd mix them so that the kids who are not so that some kids are learning more from other kids, or how would you do that?
There would be a mixture of students, but as Shanna had said earlier, they're going to be working alongside each other, not isolated, not separated. It's an idea of collegiality and working together to get those all students exposed to the curriculum.
Right. Okay. All right. Laura or Jamie, any questions?
So the question that I have is this subscription to DFIT. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Is that the application you were speaking of? And do we already have that subscription, or is that a new subscription need that we don't currently have in our toolbox?
I'm going to turn that over to Shanna, but I do believe that we already use that, and there are a number of teachers who actually use it currently.
Okay.
Laura, that's actually a program that all the middle school teachers and the high school teachers have requested, and Shanna has asked for it from me too, that the district purchase. And I've actually just been waiting until January to purchase it because everybody's still working on has their free license. So I was kind of like extending as far as possible. So like to the end of January. And then I was going to purchase it for everyone because at all grade levels, people have been requesting it of me. So we're going to reach out to them and get a quote and figure out and probably get a district license, because it doesn't seem like it's a very expensive thing, but it's a really effective tool. You should definitely check it out. I think you'd like it for your classes.
Thank you.
I've seen it in progress. It's actually amazing when you go into a classroom and you see the same concepts being delivered at different reading levels.
Yeah, that's awesome. So can I just ask one more follow-up? It's not really a follow-up question, but it's more of a clarification question. I think that you were talking about how this is coded for courses, for students. So students who need the modification, is that how they code into a unified course code? And then if it's a non-modified curriculum that students need, their code is different, but it's the same scheduled course at the same time, same teacher or teachers, right? Okay.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. So it doesn't show up on someone's transcript necessarily if they didn't require an accommodated or modified.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good.
I think that's important. Thank you.
Yeah. So I see here they can't take the unified human behavior and unified psychology at the same time. I'm assuming that's the two courses do seem to address different concepts, but why is it they can't take both at the same time if they wanted to?
So historically, with the psychology class or a human behavior class, they can take them in the same year but different semesters, and that's partially really the problem. Is it's just not enough to fit into the schedule to do both at the same time. So they are able to squeeze it in different semesters. And many of our students take psychology the first semester and then human behavior the second semester. That is a common trend. As a matter of fact, one of my own children did the same thing. So it is something that is a common practice.
Does human behavior build on what they learn in psychology in any way?
Yeah, human behavior is a little bit more of a sociology style class where they take the concepts of psychology and apply it to a much larger spectrum. And then vice versa. So there is no specific order in which you have to take it. You can learn concepts in each, and they do overlap.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
Jamie. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I didn't have my screen open. So if Jamie has a question, go ahead.
Yeah, Jamie.
No, I think I'm good. I'm just kind of reading the course descriptions as we go through. I'm trying to switch back and forth between monitors, so I apologize for the delay in unmuting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
great.
Can I ask
go ahead.
another question? I'm sorry. I just am I'm interested in this topic, and I find this conversation helpful. But help me understand, on the course general information, it says grade levels 12 and above. Like,
Oh.
can you explain that to me? Like, why would it be above? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, we do have grade 13 students in the building, and those grade 13 students are going to be able to access this curriculum as well.
Okay, thank you. And are
Yeah.
these courses in terms of a general education course, these are courses that already exist
Yep.
in our programming? It's just this unified designation
Yes.
that is now the offering.
Yeah, because what it does is it provides more students more opportunities and pathways to get exposed to different curriculums.
So does this mean that I mean, there's going to be the maximum of the course is 20. I assume that's with the combined CP level, right? So does that mean that with more more students potentially funneling into this course, we're going to reach that 20 cap potentially faster? Is there a second section of this that's going to run
So
potentially?
so that's a great question, and there are a couple possibilities in there. We always do have multiple sections of human behavior or multiple sections of psychology. Depending upon the course interests, there could be another section of each of these courses if that is the case. We're anticipating at least one section to begin with. Let's see where the numbers fall, and if there is a need for a second, then we're able to look into that as well. And the students will know. So when they register for their classes, they'll register for like CP Psychology 1. They'll register. They won't really know that that whether or not their course is the unified course or not. They're registering for CP Psychology. So whether or not the numbers are large enough to support more than one section is a wait and see.
Thank you.
And you said there may or may not be a second teacher in the classroom, depending on the needs
Sure.
of the kids.
Yeah.
Can
So
you talk about that a little bit more?
absolutely. So there is a couple of theories on this one as to whether or not there needs to be a co-teacher, or if the classroom teacher can differentiate appropriately. And the answer to which model we go with is basically depending upon the level of differentiation that is needed for assessments and for curriculum within the students. So we'll make that decision with the special ed department and the director of school counseling, which avenue we need to go down and look at. Do we put where do we put our staff in the best possible usage?
If there isn't a second teacher, will there be aides or other
Yes.
people?
Yes, the idea would be there would be a para present.
Okay, because I think, I mean, it seems to me that this class does require enough resources. I mean, you don't want to under-resource this class, that's
Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Because you really want it to be a good learning experience for everybody.
Yeah, our hope is to have either the co-teacher model or the teacher para model, and that in which way we go depends upon the enrollment.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. All right, so last but not least, civics, one of my personal favorites. Can you tell us about that one?
Sure. So the Unified Civics course is exactly what it sounds like. It deals with the government. It deals with a variety of concepts with United States history, 21st century citizenship, and its focus is local, state, and then national. There's this real big focus on the local for this particular class. So it's again unified. We already have a civics course. It's just a unified civics course. And same thing with human behavior and psychology. We already have these courses. They're just now offered in a unified section.
Right, yes. When you say it's focused on the local level, did they talk about the select boards in the towns?
They
or
do.
Great.
Yep. Oftentimes we have guest speakers come in from various towns, town managers. So there's a lot of guest speakers and a lot of aspects of that. Yep.
Great, good. All right. Any questions or comments about the civics course? No? Okay.
I don't have a question about the civics course, but could you share a little bit, if we have time? I don't want to take up too much time. Just on the feedback or experiences you've had from like the existing unified classes.
Oh, good question.
Sure. Shanna, do you want to take that one, or would you like me to?
So Mike, Shanna can't talk.
So the feedback has been
Oh, she can.
tremendous. It's why we've been so excited to continue it. So it started, with just some co-teaching in some of our core classes, and the U.S. history resource room class was co-taught with a CP class, and we did that with one class 2 years ago. And the data, we had students that were in the resource room class that were accessing the college prep, and all of a sudden they were able to, many of them, I think half of the class at that point, half of the resource room level class were taking the college prep assessments, and they were on par with their peers. And so we just know that the more opportunity students have to be in the general ed curriculum, the better the outcome. That's, the data supports that all around. So then we went to this year, 3 of our core history classes. So our world history, our US 1 and US 2 are all now, the resource level classes are combined with CP classes, and we have 2 teachers. And you go into the classes and you truly don't know which student is in a resource level class. They're integrated beautifully. And so those teachers have taught together a few years now, and they've, so that was we've just gotten really good feedback. And then the civics class, we have one of them that's co-taught, and the other 2 classes have paraprofessional support. And so we'll just take a look at the end of the year if it, which model makes the most sense, or a combination of the 2 makes sense. But all of them are supported. And it's just been, I think it's just been a really good experience for the students and the teachers, and the feedback that we've received just about the peer interactions that we see too. It's just been empowering. It's great. If you guys, it's a really cool, all of the classes have been great to observe and see firsthand.
Great.
Can I ask one
One
more
of our,
question?
oh yeah, go ahead.
Regarding budget implications, I can't remember where I've landed on this before in terms of knowing more, but whenever we designate a course, I'm going to make a statement, and I don't know if it's true, so I'm going to make it sound like a statement, but it really is a question. If we designate this course with the unified designation, how does that change our staffing needs and our support staffing needs? Have you explored like what that could do for the needs of the building, or have those already been sort of taken into account, and we have enough staff to support the need?
So I'll never say we have enough staff to support. What I will say to this is I think we're going to be in pretty good shape with staffing at the outset. I think that depending upon how popular or not this course becomes, and where we stand at the end of our first year working through this, will change some of the staffing questions. I would say that having one additional special ed teacher wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to help support some of this. Obviously, paras are at a premium at this point. But I think that, and Shanna, if I'm wrong, step in. I think that we're going to be okay working with what we currently have. I won't say that I won't request one more teacher come budget time, but I think we're going to be okay with the way we have it right now, because we have some very, very talented teachers that are going to be the ones teaching this course. So I guess I don't know for sure, but I don't want to say no, but I think that we're going to be okay.
Okay. I think it'd be good if we could maybe toward the end of the semester hear back from you and hear sort of how things went.
Sure.
I think that would be of great interest. And let me just channel a committee member who's not here, who had concern. You mentioned that, you've gotten very positive feedback from the students in the course, and that the kids from the resource room, do very well and perform on par with their peers. One committee member was concerned about any potential negative impact on their peers. And I hate to bring that up, but I'm going to just because I know it could come up again at some point, and I may as well bring it up now. So,
Are we talking academic, social,
yes,
emotional, academic?
I think. I think
No.
what he was
Because
thinking.
ultimately, I think, as I mentioned earlier, there's no academic. I don't think there's any academic concerns because they're still going to be getting the same curriculum that the classroom next door. That psychology 1 might be next
Right.
door, might not be unified, but it's the same curriculum that they're going to be delivered to them. So there really is no change in those whatsoever. And as Laura, I think I asked earlier, their transcripts will read for psychology 1. It won't read unified. So
Right, right.
there is no harm in that fashion, I guess is the word.
Right. I reluctantly bring that up just because.
Oh, it's a good question. Better to be transparent and clear.
Right. So, anyway, okay. So any other questions or comments?
So Linda, are we looking to make a motion to recommend this slate of new courses as described at this point? And this is going to go to our full committee for final approval?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I guess I would make the motion to recommend that the school committee adopt or approve. I think it's approve. I think that's the word we have to use.
Approve,
The
yes.
adoption of these 6 new courses. I'm not going to name them. Jamie, you can grab those from the minutes. And as we've been presented here tonight.
Okay, great. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And abstentions? None. I'm hearing none. Okay, the motion is approved. Great. Thank you all very much. This is really, I'm excited about these courses. And I do hope we get a chance to hear more about how they've gone toward the end of the semester. Because it is really exciting, really innovative, and I appreciate all the thought that went into them. And do let us know if you need resources.
Definitely take care of that for me.
Linda?
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say thank you to Shanna, Mike, Lynn, Asia. Am I missing anybody? I want to make sure I get everybody. So thank you very much to the high school team for coming today. And we appreciate you being here and being able to speak to these courses and the work that you're doing to get these courses going. I would ask that, I think Linda can better say than I can, but I think January 8th is the next school committee meeting where this would probably be on the docket. So we'd probably look for some support at that meeting as well to be able to speak to these. And I also just wanted to thank the members of the subcommittee as well for being able to do this virtual meeting and accommodate the schedule. So we appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Well, we were happy to do it. We were happy to do it. So, and we really appreciate you taking time out of your evening to inform us tonight. So thank you. And I want to thank Ed McAuliffe. I don't know if you can hear me, Ed, but I want to thank Ed McAuliffe for making sure the tech all went well. His son and mine are both at UMass Amherst in dorms next door to each other. So
Very
we're
good.
doing great. So thanks to Wachusett for that. So thank you all, and have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you. You as well.
Bye-bye, everybody.
May I have
Bye-bye.
the motion
Good
to
night.
adjourn?
Oh, motion to adjourn.
Oh, motion to adjourn. I'm under the chair. How would I know these things? Okay.
Thank you. Good
Do
night.
I hear a motion to adjourn?
So
Yes.
moved.
All right.
Any seconds?
Yeah, Jamie got it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed or abstentions? None. We are
Good
adjourned
night.
at 7:21 p.m. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a great night, everybody. Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.